I'm using this costume to demonstrate to you the movements of the various skeletal joints required to make a correct golf swing. We are dealing with 6 pairs of skeletal joints: wrist, elbow, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankles. I'm going to start explaining the actions of the various joints at the wrist. This is extension, palmar flexion, extension, hop extension, extension, radial flexion, ulnar deviation. I'm now going to the elbow. It'll flex and extend. I'm going to pronate my hand at the elbow joint. I'm going to supinate my hand at the elbow joint. We will now go to the shoulders. The shoulder is a ball and socket joint. You can do a conical action thusly. You can raise the arm forward or backward. These are important in the golf swing. Another important action is a rotation in the rotor cuff, which assists the pronation, supination of the left hand. Well, now the hips. We use the hips to incline toward the ball by flexion at the ball and socket joint of the hips. To shift our weight, we do a lateral tilt of the hips. Transfers weight from 2-foot balance to 1. Reverse that, tilt. We transfer the weight to the other foot by tilting. We will now go to the knees. The knee is a hinge. It can extend and flex. That's all it can do. We'll now go to the ankle. This is called flexion. This is called extension. This is called eversion. This is called inversion. I will now take you to the stance. Place the left hand about a half an inch below the top of this grip. You will then make a natural step with your left foot, a natural step with your right foot, with the heel separated about 15 inches. You will now incline toward the golf ball at the ball and socket joints of the hip until the sole of this club is level to the ground. This will make this top end of the stick be about 8 inches from your body. So the next step is to flex the right knee, which lowers the right hip and right shoulder enough so that we can place the right hand below the left hand and take the proper grip. We're now ready to make the back swing. I'm going to tilt my left hip and left shoulder down, flex the left knee, extend the right knee, which causes the club head to start separating from the ball. My left hand will start flexing, my right hand will start hop extending, my right elbow will start flexing. My torso is turning. At this point right here, the left arm starts raising. My right elbow is raising along with it. My left wrist is going to radial flexion. My right wrist is in hop extension. You go back until the club shaft is horizontal to the ground and parallel to the intended line of flight. We're now ready to start the full swing. We're going to tilt the left hip forward and up, the left shoulder forward and up, the right shoulder down, the right hip down, causing my left arms to go towards the golf ball. Right elbow start unfolding. The elbows and forearms are rolling, squaring up the blade at impact. At this point here, the palm of the right hand is going to cross over the left hand. The left hand will go into slight hop extension. The right hand going to slight flexion. Now the left wrist and right wrist will go into radial flexion. The body's continuing to turn. The shoulders caught up with the chin. At this point here, the shoulder will square up. The arms continue to raise, dump over the left shoulder. with the center bellows facing the target and your weight on the left leg. This is how that swing is made. A little faster. In balance, on the left leg, navel facing your target, shoulders level. That's how the swing is made. 99% of the people that play golf like to hit it long, or would like to hit it long. And here's the way it's done. After applying what you've just seen, all you have to do is increase the shift speed to the left leg, increase the acceleration of that club by unfolding the right elbow, rolling the forearms, and letting the body rotate around so you can complete the swing. I'm going to show you how that works. You've seen a normal swing. I'm going to increase that. Increase that by shifting my weight fast to the left leg and increasing the club head speed so that I can get it around fast and strong and apply that energy to that golf ball. Here. Again. Just a little bit too strong there, I lost my balance. I'm going to do a detailed action of the golf swing from a side view. I'm going to flex my left knee, extend my right knee, which allows my left shoulder and left hip to tilt. It causes the club to separate almost directly away from that ball. At this point here, I'm going to hyper extend my right hand, flex my left hand, turn my torso till this club now is about 90 degrees away from its started position. I'm going to elevate my left arm. I'm going to flex my right elbow and raise it as I raise my left arm. My left wrist is going into radial flexion. My right wrist is in hyperextension. My right knee is in extension. 75% of the weight is on the right leg. And I'm going to rotate my shoulders until that left shoulder is back to the ball. My chest is behind my shoulders. My position here is where the shaft is horizontal to the ground and parallel to the intended line of flight. I'm now ready to start the downswing. I'm going to flex my spine laterally. Flex my right knee, extend my left knee, raise my right heel, rotate the torso, unfold the right elbow, pronate the right forearm, supinate the left forearm. The club now is square. We're in impact position. The left arm continues to supinate, the right forearm continues to pronate. Left wrist is going to slight hyperextension. The right wrist is going into slight flexion. At this point here, the left wrist starts hyperextending and radial flexing. My right shoulder is now catching up with my chin. My right arm now is about horizontal to the ground. That's this point where the shoulder has to start straightening up, leveling out. The arms continue to raise, body continues to rotate, the shoulders start squaring up. The arms are dumping the club over the left shoulder. You're finishing in balance on the left leg with the navel facing the target, balance on the left foot, like so. I'm going to swing this club slowly so you can get another view from a different angle. My chest is behind my shoulder blades facing the target. The shaft is horizontal parallel to the ground. 75% weight on the right leg. Shift over to the left leg. Flex the right knee. Unfold the right elbow. Extending the right ankle. Continue the torso rotation. Unfold the right elbow. Pronate the right forearm. Supinate the left forearm. The blade now is square. The left forearm continues to supinate. The right forearm continues to pronate. The club is getting out in front of the arms. The left hand is in hop extension. Starting a radial flexion. The right hand is in slight flexion, also starting a radial flexion. Right shoulder is catching up with the chin. Arms are starting to elevate. My shoulder is now starting to level out. My head is raising, spine is straightening up. The arms is reaching the top position, ready to dump the club over the left shoulder. Center balance, facing the target, balance on the left leg. That is how it's made. I'm going to swing the club so you can see this action. Left knee flexes, right knee extends. Spine tilts, hips and shoulders tilt, torso turns, arm raise. Shift, unfold the right elbow, uncock the wrist, unroll the forearms, let that club head swing freely through that hitting area. At this point here is where we're applying the major amount of force in the swing. Right in here, the hands are reacting to the centrifugal force of that club and circular momentum of that club head. I am not trying to accelerate the hands here. I'm trying to get the club head started here and let gravity and the momentum and inertia of this body do the job for me. I want to transmit the energy from my head to that club head and the back center of that ball. And you can't get acceleration if you hold on with your hands tight and not let the hands react and create this pendulum motion around the base of the ulnar bone, that bone right there, creating a 180 degrees semicircle with that action. Tilt the hips and shoulders, turn the torso, raise the arms, cock the wrist, shift over from your right foot to the left, unfold the right elbow to wrist, roll the forearms to square up the blade, continue the roll, getting the club out in front of you, wrist going to radial flexion, shoulder catching up with the chin, spine straightening up, dumping the club over the left shoulder, shoulder blades level. Slow motion. A little faster. A little more speed. A little more. Notice, I increase the shift speed and the snap of the club head, roll of the forearms, and let the body rotate with the centrifugal force of that club head. Letting this club utilize the basic law of physics of a pendulum. That's a pendulum action. It's not a taking, it's a swinging. Basically what we're doing the same thing a pitcher does. He steps to the left foot, throws his baseball with his right arm, opens his hand here and let the ball flow toward the batter. It's a step and throw. It's not a pull. It's not a church bell ring. It's not a harpoon. It's not a rope tug. It's just a matter of whirling the club head. It's supple quickness is what we're after, not rigid slowness. All strong people try to take it and force the club to the ball. It must swing. This gives you the maximum distance for the least amount of effort. Take a look at this again. Flexion, extension. Slight tilt of the bottom of the spine to the right, establish a balance on the head of this femur bone. Turn the torso, raise the arms and cock the wrist. Step, uncock, let the body follow. Let that right side follow that club head into the ball. It's not a pull, not a church bell ring, not a harpoon. This left arm must stay in this position until you hit the ball. It's the shift and the turn of the torso that causes the left arm to advance toward the golf ball. It's the unfolding of the right elbow and the two wrists that increase the pendulum action of this golf club, which gives us the power that we're seeking. I'm going to show you a very, very important action. It deals with the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades play a very important part in the degree that the club separates from the golf ball. First, I would like to show you about the torso. You can turn your head 70 this way, 70 that way, so 140 degree. You can turn your chest 140 degree. But to get the other, you must get the 20 degree from abducting the left shoulder blade and adducting the right shoulder blade. It gives you a 90 degree look. Your chest only turns 70 this way. You get the other 20 by the actions of the shoulder blades. Now in the same way going through. When you get the hands crossed over like this, the left arm start raising, this right shoulder blade pulls away from your spine, the left shoulder blade pulls back to your spine. Now I'm going to turn around and let you see how that acts when I make a swing. I'm going to shift my weight to the right leg. I'm going to cock my hands. Hit full my right elbow. Now right here, the shoulder blades come into play. The right shoulder blade is adducting, it's approaching the spine. The left shoulder blade is pulling away from the spine. That allows me to get a full shoulder turn. To come back to the ball, I shift over the left foot, off of the right foot, flexing the right knee, unfold the right elbow, and cocking the two wrists, rolling the forearms, letting the club get out in front. Club is now starting up the forward position of the follow-through. The left wrist is in half extension, right wrist is starting to go in half extension. The left wrist now is going to radial flexion, right wrist going to radial flexion. Right arm now.